guys. I was going to have a lovely guest today, but she unfortunately has a really bad migraine and is unable to be here. So you got just me. But I really want to talk about you. This has been on my mind lately because I'm hearing from a lot of women something very similar. I've heard it a lot through the years, but lately a lot more. And that's, well, let me talk to my husband first. So a lot of women are feeling really frustrated, tired of not knowing what to wear, tired of being miserable. Then they find out that there's someone like me who can change all that, but then they get a little nervous. So a lot of women say, I want to talk to my husband first. So I want to help you talk to your husbands. If in fact you need your husband's approval to help you spend some money on yourself. And I'd love to know if you feel that you need to ask your husband or partner for permission to do something for yourself, or do you just do it for yourself? Or is it an excuse? Excuse, maybe? I recently had a client who is a partner with her husband. They're partners in business. And she did speak to her husband because it was a financial decision. And he encouraged her to do a higher level of work with me because he knew it was going to help their business. Because what you wear and how you look and how you feel affects your work, correct? And it affects the message you send. So he knew that. But then I have other women who'll say, well, I really have to talk to my husband first. So I'm going to help you come up with some ways to approach your husbands if, in fact, this is controversial, you need his or her permission to, husbands or wives, permission to spend money on yourself. So, example, I had a client, and I've told this story in some of my presentations. I had a client years ago whose husband hired me to work with her because he was tired of hearing her say that she has nothing to wear. And what was happening was that she was really, really going down a rabbit hole of feeling bad about herself and very insecure and very uncomfortable. And she stopped wanting to go out. Obviously, this is pre-pandemic. She stopped wanting to go out and do things because she was so stressed out about how she looked. Honestly, she wasn't overweight. She just was miserable in the clothes she had because her clothes were all wrong for her. And she kept buying the same kind of clothes. So her closet was just one giant polo shirt and pants, nothing outfits, and they were not making her feel good because they were wrong for her. And so she was not going anywhere. So do you ever find that you're not going someplace because it's the clothes? So her husband got tired of this. He loves her, wants to help her. He didn't want her to feel badly about herself anymore. Good guy. But then there are the women who feel badly about their clothes. They don't know what to do. They find out that there's some way to get help, like me, to help them. But then they're afraid to spend the money without their husband's approval. Now, I got to tell you, most husbands want their wives, or most wives want their wives to feel good and to be able to stop saying, I have nothing to wear, I have nothing to wear. So to have your spouse, your significant other's permission, really, it isn't their permission that you need. It's really your permission that you need. Because if you really wanted to do something for yourself, you do it, right? I mean, what does not feeling confident cost you? A lot. What does not feeling good about yourself cost you? A lot. What does looking in the mirror and not liking what you see do to yourself? It does terrible things to you. And that's not good for your relationships with your spouse, significant other, or your children, by the way. Many women have come to me and said, I have to set a better example for my daughter or daughters. So I made some notes. I'm going to have to peek and look a little bit, but so this woman, okay, so this one woman, this is a story I have shared, and it gets me sometimes a little emotional, but it was a woman who's gained weight through the years, and she needed clothes that fit because nothing was, obviously nothing was fitting her anymore. So I took her to a store. It was actually Macy's, which is not my favorite, but it worked for what I needed for her. Again, I'm trying not to sneeze. And we're in the dressing room, and she's trying on the clothes that I picked for her, and she likes them. Sorry. And she looks great in these clothes. So, feeling more comfortable with me, she begins to open up, and she explains to me that every year, this was around November, we were together, and she said every year at the holidays, her husband has this huge corporate office party. And it's at a, God help me, it's at a, it's like an affair. And for the past few years, she would come up with excuses not to go. It could be that she wasn't feeling well, she would have a headache or, something, but she kept having excuses not to go. And so she confided in me. The reason why she kept coming up with these excuses was because she felt so uncomfortable with her weight and felt that she would look horrible compared to the other women, which we always do, we compare. And I was like a little taken aback because I was thinking about, well, what would her husband feel about this if he knew, and maybe he did know, that she kept coming up with excuses. So it wasn't on the list of things to get, but I went out and I found her an evening gown in a gorgeous blue, perfect for her. And it was like $80-something, or it was like less than $100 on sale. Full length gown, because it was a black tie affair, these parties. She put this gown on, and you couldn't believe how she saw herself and the glow she had and how she felt beautiful, because she was beautiful. It wasn't the size. It was because she was not having the right clothes. And she went to that party that year. Imagine what that did for their relationship, right? I mean, imagine. She now felt good about herself. And when you feel good about yourself, you're going to be a happier person. And that's going to make for a happier relationship. So if you need to ask your spouse's opinion or get their approval, why don't you start by explaining how when you're happier, everybody else around you is going to be happier? How about the fact that you buying clothes off and on? Like I have women who tell me they spend a little bit this month or that month or this week, but there's always buying something. Yet still, you don't have the outfits that you really deserve. You just have pieces. You don't have clothes that make you feel good, and you keep saying you have nothing to wear. Well, how about if you were to stop buying these little things here and there and only buy what really works for you right now? And then you won't need to keep shopping. You won't need to keep going out and buying something new every time something comes up. Like now, people are going out again. If you're vaccinated, you can mix and mingle, and you can now have the new stress of, oh my God, what am I going to wear? So if you have clothes in your closet that are right for you, you won't have to keep shopping all the time. And you're going to save a lot of money by not buying these things over and over and over and over again. What about packing? I had one woman, she hired me, and she told me when we were working together that she was always stressed out. They had a trip coming up to Florida. She was really stressed out. Her husband and her always had a really rough time with the packing because she would take over the bedroom, have clothes everywhere, and she would overpack every single time and still be miserable with what she had. Well, I made a whole bunch of outfits for her with pieces that could mix and match, and she needed only one bag. And her husband was so happy. And now the packing and the trip was enjoyable, not stressful. Think about what not having extra stress in your relationship could be. Think about simply saying to your husband, if you need his approval to do something for yourself, don't you want me to be happy? Right? Think about it. Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to, well, I'm not going to say it, but what about less nagging and complaining? Who wouldn't want that? So when a woman tells me that she needs her spouse's approval, then there's probably something else going on, because we, in my opinion, should be in charge of ourselves. And I remember when I was first married, I was brought up very frugal. My parents were World War II, survivors, and not a lot of money, and so I grew up very frugal. So I hardly ever spent money on myself. My husband used to have to push me to go shopping for myself because I didn't want to spend the money. I got over it. I managed to get over that little problem that I had. So, but I'm still a very frugal shopper, but I learned to spend money on myself because it made me feel better, and it made me look better, and it made me happier. So when it comes to doing something for yourself, think of the benefits that your husband or spouse will get out of it and share those benefits with him or her. And then, of course, you'll get the approval, if you need it, to spend the money on yourself, whether it's new clothes, whether it's hiring someone like me, whether it's getting, a hair coloring or a haircut or something for you. But if you need to ask, if you really need to ask, then share what the benefits are. If one of the benefits of finding out what clothes work for you, hiring someone like me or buying new clothes, if one of the benefits is that you're going to feel better about yourself, well, hell, that's a really, really big reason. And that's something you need to share with your spouse, significant other, whoever it is that you're saying needs to make the decision for you. But I encourage you to make the decision on your own. Because when you start taking control of your life, it changes everything. It's not just about clothes. It changes everything. So if your husband says no, just remind him that you deserve to be happy too. And that you will start not buying clothes and not wearing them. And that you'll stop saying you have nothing to wear. Listen, I can go on and on about this, but I'm not going to. So I am going to put into the comments here. I have coming up, it's my last one pretty much for the year, my virtual workshop, Know What to Wear Styling Workshop. It's only for 6 women. I have some spots filled already, so I have a few left. I encourage you to grab a spot for the May 28th workshop. It's about 3 hours. You're going to learn what colors, what details, what clothes are right for you, how to buy clothes that are right for you, where to find them, and you get to show me a few items from your closet that I will help you make an outfit with and give you my feedback on what to do with it, what not to do with it, keep it, not keep it, how to wear it. That's on May 28th. The link is in the comments. Grab your seat while I have them left. It is a very small, intimate workshop, but you get to be in your home, run to your closet and show me whatever you want to show me. And it's a lot of fun. But I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to change how you look at your clothes, and you will no longer be buying things that you end up not wearing or even liking. So it's Know What to Wear workshop, May 28th. Get one of the spots now because they never last. But I can guarantee you it's always a lot of fun and very eye-opening. Make sure you have a pen and pad because you're going to be taking a lot of notes, okay? I will see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I hope that my guests can make it the next time I go live. Either way, remember, if you need to ask anybody else for their approval for you to spend money on yourself, just tell them and share how you're happier, they'll be happier. It's true. All right. Have a great week.